As someone who's worked in the heating and air for years, I've been in countless older homes across the Twin Cities, and I can tell you there's one thing that keeps me up at night: asbestos. This stuff was everywhere in older buildings: insulation, ductwork, pipe wrapping, and disturbing it can release dangerous fibers into the air. That's why I want to tell you about solutions for asbestos-free environments. Acronym: SAFE, SAFE. And trust me, that acronym says it all, because safety is exactly what they deliver. They're certified by Minnesota Department of Health and fully compliant with EPA and OSHA standards. We at Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric use SAFE for abating asbestos during older boiler and gravity furnace replacements. Our electrical team relies on them when drilling through asbestos sidings and floors. I trust them with my customers' safety, and that says everything. Whether you're replacing that old furnace, renovating, or buying property, SAFE provides professional inspections and certified removal services. I've seen what happens when people skip the inspection and just start tearing into walls. Don't take chances. Visit asbestosservices.services to learn more and schedule your inspection today. That's asbestos.services, ASBESTOS.services, because your safety matters.
From working in his family's Chinese restaurant, to bartending, to becoming present-day owner of Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric, my father's true superpower is human connection. Now, he's on a mission to capture the most fascinating stories that make up the Minnesota community. You're listening to the Twin City Tales podcast.
Today's guest is someone whose story hits on resilience, identity, and choosing your own path when the world tries to label you early. He grew up learning how to work the system just to survive school, navigating an IEP, being told he wouldn't make it to college, and being defined more by expectations than potential. But when it mattered most, he flipped the switch. In his final semester of high school, he took on some of the hardest math and English courses available: Algebra 2, Trigonometry, Pre-Calc, and didn't just pass, he earned a 97. That determination opened up the doors to St. Thomas University for him, not as an athlete despite the full ride offers, but as a student who wanted to be known for what was between his ears. And what's wild is he's only 19 years old. Today, he's a financial management major at St. Thomas, a young entrepreneur, and a co-CEO of new venture called Legal LM, built to make legal access faster, simpler, and more human. His story also spans adoption, small-town life, football, identity, and learning how to navigate the world when you don't fit the mold people expect. This conversation is about grit, self-awareness, and proving to yourself first that you're capable of far more than anyone ever told you. Please welcome to the show, Marcyves. His friends call him Keeves, so I get to call him Keeves. Keeves, welcome.
Hey, thank you. That was an amazing intro. And I wanted to double down and say some of you may even know me as Marcus. For about 18 years of my life, my name was Marcus. And with Midwest Imaging Solutions last year, I greeted myself as Marcus Michael for a while. But yeah, that was a great warm welcome. And yeah, I'm excited to jump right in.
Keeves, we had a little conversation beforehand, and your story is amazing. Well, let's start off where you came from, where you and how you got to Wisconsin.
Absolutely. So I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and I was in an orphanage. So around that 2010 earthquake era. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it, but yeah, that was a devastating earthquake. It killed hundreds of thousands of people. Just catastrophic. And then post-earthquake, there's a lot of rescue efforts put in place to get kids out of there. And so I was coming out of that earthquake, and coming out of the orphanage. They were sending help from the U.S. in planes to get kids out. They had ran out of planes for the original adoption process to get kids out. So Sean Penn sent his private jet and his personal jet to get more kids out, which was just a miracle in itself. But because I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have made it to the U.S. if it weren't for him. So it's just an unreal story to have lived. And yeah, I'm so amazed that I'm in small town Wisconsin by the time I got there.
Yeah, and anytime I think of when somebody says Sean Penn, I just think of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's Macaulay, but he is quite the human activist. He does help humans.
Yeah,
He's a big proponent.
he really is. He's done just some incredible things. He's just a big time guy, and me being 19 and young, I really don't know a lot of the movies he's been in, but I can definitely appreciate his efforts in getting me here along with other kids too.
And you ended up in Wisconsin. Was that like by design when they were getting the kids out of Haiti, or how did that work?
That in itself, I'm not too sure, but I know like my parents were in the adoption process and they were fostering, so they were in that kind of field. And especially with the natural disaster happening, it was more popular in 2010 to look to adopt a Haitian child because of the help needed directly. So it really just was like throwing a dart on a map. Close your eyes, throw the dart at the map, and see where I end up.
Yeah.
And I happened to end up in Grantsburg, Wisconsin, of all places.
And you were 4 years old
Yep.
when that happened?
Yeah.
So that's kind of a time in your life where you start remembering a lot of things. Those are like your first moments of lots of memories. And
Absolutely.
how was the change from being in Haiti, all of a sudden, a very like white dominated Grantsburg, Wisconsin? How was that like?
Yeah, I'd say even prior to that, like just the sequences of events that happened were just insane because it all happened really fast. We had the earthquake, and my memory got jogged early because of trauma. I remember like just the feeling of the shaking, and I remember walking out with just covered in white ash and dust and soot, and seeing soldiers all in the streets trying to like rescue people and help, and then like cleanup efforts, and I was on a jet getting shipped somewhere, and I arrived with clothes that were too big for me. I'm pulling my pants up, and I met my parents, and and then we flew back to Wisconsin, and was not a big fan of airplanes back then with the ears popping and everything. I remember crying almost the whole way back, and then getting to Wisconsin and seeing snow for the first time was that was something pretty crazy. And then but being welcomed home and finally finding stability and peace, because being thrown around in turmoil and earthquakes and just a lot of just dysfunctional situations, it's hard. Simply, and no kid really thrives in a situation like that. And I came to America. I was emaciated with worms and had malnutrition too. So I had the big belly full of worms and skinny body because of it. So I'm not too far out from death at that point. So if I don't make it to America there, I wouldn't be alive. So I feel like I've won the lottery multiple times just based off of the events that have transpired and just how the sequencing has happened. And but I couldn't be more grateful for the warmth I felt when I got home. And as soon as I did find functionality and comfortability, you see the personality you see today start to shine out in that little kid that I was. I mean, there's pictures of me wearing glasses and posing on the floor and just the smiles. I was all smiles, and I've continued to be all smiles.
That's pretty cool. Now, I guess, question, do you remember your parents from Haiti at all, or?
I don't. And since the disaster happened and it was such a rush to get kids out of there, my paperwork is botched. They have no prior information about my family. There isn't really a lot of, as far as we know, I just don't have family, but I'm sure there's family out there. I just have to take a test, and taking a test is, it's one of those things that, like, it could be extremely beneficial right now, or it could be more harmful. Like if I was to find family and then them just want money or just help right now, and I can't really provide like too much assistance at this point because I'm only 19. I'm building my legacy currently. Yeah. Rather than like building or wanting to build a relationship, it'd be kind of hard on me. But
Gotcha.
I would love to take that test later on and find family and hopefully help.
Wow. What's really amazing as I get to learn about you more is you really know yourself at a high level, higher level than most kids at the age of 19 do, and that's amazing.
Yeah, I credit that to just being hyper analytical. And I've had a lot of moments in life that really make me look at myself and question, like, what am I doing? Who am I? Who do I want to be? And facing the identity crisis throughout life, because you're growing up white and being the only black one in the family. You notice pretty quickly. It's not like an adoption story where the kid never knew until they were 20. I knew immediately that I wasn't the same, but being young and not able to conceptualize things yet, I didn't understand what it was exactly. But yeah, I just, there's those that like little, hey, like awareness. What am I? How am I here? Like, why am I different? What makes me different? But yeah, it made me look at myself early. And I think that's why I'm the way I am.
Yeah, and then of course, early life for you was Grantsburg, Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about those experiences then, and learning to grow through that.
All right, this is a good one because for those of you who don't know where Grantsburg, Wisconsin is, if you look at a map, it's the nose of the Badger. It's in Burnett County, Wisconsin. So Burnett County is the poorest county in Wisconsin, and it's extremely white. Like, I was a minute minority in Burnett County. Emphasis on minute. I was like I was ultimately the only black kid in Grantsburg by the time I was a senior, but there was other black kids who went through Grantsburg, but a lot of them transferred out just because there's reasons people transferred out. But it's a tough place to grow up when you're different. There's good people to me there for sure, and there's bad, but being a small town, it was a town of 1,300 people. My class was 46 people. That's why I always tell people, I finished top of my class. Like, that's top of 46. So that's a real achievement. I didn't finish the top of my class.
But you were the number one black kid.
I was the number one black kid at the school. But no, I would always say, like, I finished 30th in my class or something like that. And people are like, whoa, wow, that's impressive, because they think I'm at a big school, but 30th out of 46 isn't the best. But hey, it is what it is. But no, ultimately, it's a tough place to grow up when you're different. You get thick skin fast. You start to like conceptualize and look at yourself differently at an early age because of other kids pointing it out.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I'd take family pictures. I didn't really realize I was black right away.
Right.
I probably realized I was black at like 6 years old.
Okay.
And like, this is just right when kids are starting to throw around like things.
Yeah.
Because when you're little, nobody sees color. You're friends with everybody. Like, you're playing in the sandbox. Like, the last thing you're worried about is what color someone is. There. I was more worried about if someone took my little red truck.
Yeah.
But then you hit that like 3rd to 4th grade transition, and that's when a lot of people started to really see it and act on it more so. And the high school to elementary school to middle school was that point, because middle school, you're little 4th grader all the way up to 8th graders who are basically ready to get into high school, but they're still squirrels.
Yeah. And
everyone's kind of a walking cartoon, and people are just starting to notice differences and make jokes and start to use like swear words, and then the N-word gets thrown in there, and then you're like, whoa, what's that? You do a little research, you figure out quickly, and then that's probably right where I started to really realize it and feel the differences, and it just progressed. It's like a snowball effect. And what do you do when you're young and you don't know how to cope with things? Like, you just joke along with it, and joking along with it's probably one of the worst things you can do. It creates the illusion that it's okay to like say those things and be that way.
And I'm really guilty of it. I did a lot of that when I was younger. And obviously we have a big age difference here. I mean, I grew up in the 70s while you're growing up in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I always use to diffuse it is either self-deprecating humor, because of who I was, and I wasn't adopted. I was in a predominantly white area, Hopkins School District, Golden Valley. It was very white back in the 60s and 70s when I was growing up. And I remember just even thinking differently, but going, no, but I'm one of you guys. And if there was somebody of color that was like, I have a Native American friend, Suzette Bellegarde, who's going to be coming on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't associate with her because I didn't want to be, I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like, I'm not one of them. I'm you guys, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't always, like you said, it doesn't always work that way, which isn't good, because now you're starting to label yourself too when everybody else is labeling you. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it definitely hits you hard because you're joking with them, and then you're like, what did I just say about myself? And that forces you to really look at yourself, and you realize like how terrible whatever you said was.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, dang, like I wouldn't say that to someone else. Why am I saying that about myself?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it starts off with like the jokes like, oh yeah, he's darker than under the bed, or, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
The teacher would turn off the lights to show a movie on the board. Where'd Marcyves go? Where'd Marcus go? Yeah, it's just, and it was hard. Like I remember stepping on the blacktop once. It was creative, mind you. I stepped on the blacktop. We were out at recess, and I stepped like on the blacktop in the turnaround, the bus turnaround. And some kid yells, "Where'd Marcus go?" And I was like, "Oh, come on! Like I can't get away with anything."
Yeah.
But there's the jokes, and you just play along at that time where you're just like, "Oh yeah, haha, that's funny."
Right.
But it builds, and then it gets worse. And then it got to, what do you get when you mix him and an octopus? I don't know, but you get one hell of a cotton picker, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm like, as soon as you start mixing slavery and
horrible
and really terrible events and just not great things, it's not quality. It doesn't make you feel good at all.
It keeps perpetuating that too.
It evolves.
Yeah. And how do you stop that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is like having people recognize it, or and I firmly believe back in the days in that like slavery, right? And I'm young, right? And like I'm maybe 15 at the time, and this is the 70s or early 80s. I'm like, slavery, that happened like 200 years ago. Like, can't they get over it? But there is something about generational trauma that happens, like the perpetuation that happens through just media, right? What we see on TV, how the movies portray things, and that becomes reality for some people because that's what they see. That's the story that's being told. And especially if you live in an area like Grantsburg, Wisconsin, where the community is really small and tight, your news isn't like as well. There's more social media now that you can reach out to, but it's still very closed off with closed minds. And that's what you had to deal with.
Absolutely. And to touch on the social media piece, that didn't save it even. Like that didn't get people's minds thinking differently. Because I don't know, if you see social media and the algorithm, how it works, it finds what you like and it feeds you what you like. So ultimately with social media, you end up in an echo chamber of things you like. And being in an area that is a small homogenous thinking area, it groups up and like people just think the same things, and there's no diversity of thought. There's no diversity in general. So then it's like easier for people to come to this conclusion that, hey, everyone agrees with me, so I must be right.
Well, I never even looked at it
it may never even be the case. They may all be echoing something wrong. But it comes down to that feeling of, hey, everyone around me, my family, my friends, they all think this thing, I should think this thing too. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's studies where like people tell you, hey, like they'll show you a blue dot, be like, hey, this is a blue dot, or a red dot, and they say, hey, this is a blue dot, and then the audience is like, no, and then they show them again after saying what it was, and people, they'll be like, raise your hand if this is a blue dot, and they'll raise their hand. Like it's just,
human nature. Sometimes.
Human nature, what you're being surrounded with,
and what you're being fed.
Yeah, like if you're like, it's just a lot of the same stuff. Like if you're asleep and a bunch of people around you start clapping their hands, you'll probably wake up and start clapping your hands.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Just seeing what everyone around you is doing and doing it isn't always the right thing. People get that confused.
So I love this subject because I feel like neuroencoding, right? It's really about how your brain works. Mm-hmm. And there's certain things about like mob mentality, right? Like when the mob starts going one way and people just start following, whether it's right or wrong. They just go with it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little bit of that with social media sometimes too.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so you get a group of people flowing one direction, and they get people who are like-minded agreeing, and then the algorithm sees they're agreeing on one thing, and they continue to feed them the same or similar things.
See, and it's kind of funny that you say that too, because I feel like social media has helped out a lot of things too, because I honestly believe that as being a little bit older, I feel like we were not as accepting of differences back in the 80s when I was growing up. I feel like you younger generation are now more accepting of differences than ever before. Like, I love the videos when they have the kid who has Down syndrome that just wants to be part of a team, and he goes out for the basketball team, and they just kind of say, okay, you've been running with us all season. Let's get you in one game. And everybody's so supportive of that. You would never see that in the 80s.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a different culture in how empathetic and just mainly empathetic, I'd say. How much more empathetic people are. And I think it's because we are now able to just grab our phones and look through someone else's lens. Like, people share their stories on social media, and it's a lot easier to reson with someone when you can see what they're experiencing, and the power of video. So you can see, like, hey, maybe that wasn't right to say that stuff to that person, because they see the effects after. And we've definitely we're more connected than ever, but I feel like there's also a threshold. And I feel like too much connectivity can be a problem as well too. But yeah, no, it's definitely created a new culture where being empathetic and understanding others has become pushed in more focus.
Yeah, so in reality, social media has hurt us with the algorithm, because people are following down one road and then they're getting fed that same stuff that might not be right. But yet there's empathy that people are seeing that might be getting fed into. So it might be different things or different subjects that we're getting way worse at, but there's things that we're getting a lot better at. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Absolutely. And I think it's less of social media, but more of the times. I think social media would be less damaging if we never had like the quarantine COVID era, where it forced a lot more people online. And like I said earlier, the threshold, when you have an influx of people who like weren't on it prior, it creates this it's like hiring a bunch of new employees at a job without training them. You're gonna get chaos.
Yeah.
And that's like, the internet was good and like everything was just calm for a while, and then you got the storm with COVID, everyone being online, and it created attention deprivation, attention fragmentation, social deprivation, and addiction, like phone addictions in young people. And that's the damage. That's the true damage of social media. And that's how it's really turned.
Wow, that's really insightful, especially coming from somebody who is experiencing through this. The one thing that's really coming through right now, obviously, and everybody's talking about it in the last couple of years, is this AI, right?
Yeah.
And that, I think, starts isolating people too, from what I understand, because AI, you can start talking to it and go, you're my best friend.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
How are you seeing that entering our culture?
It depends on how people are using it, honestly. I've seen people use it to complete simple tasks that we should probably be able to figure out on our own, especially as college students. I've seen some people there's classes where you're like, do I really want to do this work? That makes sense to me. But the classes that are hard and that you can't figure out, you probably should be learning it. Like, I use a lot of discretion. My cousin Mariah, she's really gonna get on me for this one. She's probably gonna see this, but I use a lot of discretion in school. If I deem the class not worthy to learn, it's getting used for AI is gonna get used. But the things that are extremely applicable and that I deem are worthy and that I deem like are gonna be used in my future, I will do it myself. but there's a lot of students who just only use AI, and it creates this idea that I don't have to think for myself, which is kind of hard.
In school, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I mean, and I want to get back to that in a second, but question is, can you tell if somebody's using an AI as a professor, you think? Like, is it hard to tell, or is it?
They say they can, but what they don't realize fully, I mean, I feel like a lot of them do realize it, but if you're very good at prompting AI, you can't tell. Like for me,
Really?
I'll give up the method here. All right.
You're going to give our secrets.
I'm going to give the method. So, like for papers I don't want to write, I took my high school papers that I did write and showed AI my writing styles and my tendencies, and I specifically told it to focus on my styles, vocabulary, grammar, tendencies, and then I had it write the new paper with the subject. Some people would have just said, hey, write this paper for me, without giving it what they did. So if you know how to prompt AI, they can't tell.
Wow. Good. That was just $1 million nugget for me right there.
But that's also just how my brain works. You know, I'm a system worker.
Okay.
Like, we'll go back to like the school thing.
Yeah.
School is hard for me, but what got me through it is my vision and using systems to get through hard things. Like you said, I had IEP. So being on the IEP helped me kind of like lean on something in school.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to shoulder the workload, because I was a social kid, but it was hard to be social when half the time you try to be social, you get called some racial slurs or something.
Huh.
But yeah, I'd lean on the IEP to get my school done, and it created a lot of free time outside of school. And what did I do with the free time? Man, I started a business at 16, or it might have been 15, it might have been 15 or 16 years old when I started it. But it was an auto detailing business, and I hired other students, and I had employees, and HR is not fun. No call, no shows aren't fun. No, but it was great. It just it was a great experience to really start that, and have the entrepreneurial mindset and test it more.
Man, your brain is so far ahead than most 19-year-olds. This is a great conversation.
I really appreciate
love this.
that.
And in case you listeners out there that don't know what IEP is, it's Individual Education Plan. And in all reality, I probably learned that about 12 years ago because my wife is a teacher. Julie, if you're listening, thank you for those little pieces of information that I can figure out. But Individual Education Plan, that really helps me know, because I think some people might not know what that actually is, that acronym. But going back to the AI thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for us in the 80s and the 70s, AI obviously wasn't a thing. And to get our paperwork done, we actually bought these things called Cliff Notes, right? So that you can read a book, and usually works for, you couldn't do it for anything else. But like if you had to do a book review and write a book report, you would find the Cliff Notes version of it. And it's like a little yellow paperback book that was like maybe 40 pages long and gave you the summary of the whole thing. And back then, too, a lot of books turned into movies, too. So you'd watch the movie, because then you didn't have to read that whole book. And then you'd combine them together and then write your book report, right?
Yeah.
But some of the, like you said, some don't know how to prompt it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the kids that I went to school with would almost take it out of the Cliff Notes verbatim.
Yeah.
And that's how they got busted, right?
Yeah. That's a good like paradigm type of thing. There was a big paradigm shift from what was it called again?
They were Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes to AI. Yeah.
And then they also had the movie, right? Like I remember, and if you watch the movie and you read the book, completely different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried that method too. It doesn't work out good. The movie method.
Because To Kill a Mockingbird, the movie changed it a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But also, if you read the Cliff Notes, you can combine them. That's okay. So my English teacher, Mr. Noreen, has probably passed away. I'll tell you that I did my To Kill a Mockingbird through Cliff Notes and watching the movie.
So you understand it then. You understand the system working life as a student, and that adds up. I mean, look at you now. You're a business owner, and You're doing great, man. You built something.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm very blessed with the people around me. I'm really not that smart sometimes. I think
not
it's
true,
putting
Wymond.
people around you is the hugest part.
That's not true, Wymond. I've been around you long enough to know that you'll say you're not that smart, but you absolutely are.
I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, stop that self-deprecating.
I do. No, we talked about that. You're absolutely right. No. So, and then you're in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You get and it doesn't even seem that far back because you're 19 years old, right?
Yeah, it's like I was just thinking about that. I was like, that was only 2 years ago, going on 3.
Exactly.
But hey, high school was the longest 4 years of my life.
Well, it's the longest 8 years of my life. I'm just kidding.
Couple attempts.
I'm just kidding. I didn't fail. But you're in high school and you've got this business going and you're learning HR and everything. And then you go to St. Thomas, or you're getting to St.
I'll tell you this story too. So
yeah,
I applied to St. Thomas. I think it was the end of my junior year. I got denied right away. It wasn't a straight shot for me. I feel like most things in my life aren't a straight shot, and that's what builds resilience and grit. It's never really a smooth path for me. Like even adoption, I was supposed to just hop on one of the original planes they sent, but no, something went wrong. They didn't have enough, and then Sean Penn steps in. There's always friction. So I applied to college, get denied because leaning on the IEP, I didn't choose my classes.
Right.
And the people choosing my classes were like, oh yeah, he's not going to go to college. Because, Grantsburg, not a lot of people do. And, they're not thinking me. I'm not going to go to college. I've always been behind because I came to America speaking French Creole. And so I'm learning English and then learning to read and write. It started me behind. So I've always been just lagging. So they're like, yeah, he's not going to go to college. Let's just throw some easy classes, get him through high school, right? And then I apply. I get denied. They're like, hey, you don't have the merit for it. You need to take this course and do like a proper English course and do all these proper courses. So I got the original. So it was up until my senior year. Like I didn't choose my classes up until my senior year.
Wow.
And then I chose all classes to go to school. And they're like, you still don't have your math courses. And I was like, oh, that's the one thing I forgot. And I didn't have credit space for. So I took Algebra 2, Intro to Trig, and Pre-Calc merged in one course on top of my course load. And I was like, man, it was the craziest schooling experience I've ever had to deal with. Even to this day, college isn't as hard as what I did at the end of high school.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah.
So I had to get a tutor on top of it, and we even went into summer a bit to finish the rest of the courses. And once I finished, I got a 97, and it was cool because my math teacher prior to that had told me that I wasn't ever going to make it to college, and I couldn't even make it to a tech school because I couldn't do math. But it was more so him giving up on me rather than, my abilities.
Yeah.
But yeah, that tutor who I was with was actually my math teacher in 8th grade too. And he never thought he admitted, he's like, I didn't think you were even going to be doing math. But yeah, so working with him, I guess I knocked his socks off and impressed him too. But yeah, he was really patient with me and sat there one-on-one through the whole process with me. And it helped that I wanted to do it. Yeah. I've never seen conic sections in my life before, but hey, I figured it out eventually.
Hey, you were getting pre-labeled, early, and that.
Oh yeah, no, I had people saying that, hey, the only way you're going to go to college is if you play sports. Like, use your football ability to go to college. That's the only way you're going. I was like, that's not me. I'm smart. Like, there's no way I can just start a business and operate it and actually make it go and learn all these things and just. In school, I can't do it. No, I feel like if I apply myself, I can do whatever I want here. Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. And I appealed my denial at St. Thomas, and then got reconsidered and accepted, and started my freshman year of college that August.
Yeah. If more people can have that mindset, think of how much success they could have, right? Mm-hmm. Like instead of I'll just say the Vikings, right? Like if they could have that, like they're being told like the only way you're going to the Super Bowl is if you buy tickets to get in, right? Yeah. But if they had your mindset, like I'm going to work and I'm going to get in, I don't care what it takes. Yeah, that's what you did.
And I don't think a lot. I wouldn't be where I am without my cousin Mariah for sure. She was the one who really sat me down. She was like, because she was like, hey, if you want to go to college, you need to focus. You need to you need to control what classes you're taking. You need to find yourself, like, and become confident in yourself. Don't live to like please everyone around you or keep everyone around you at bay, and like be you. Like, that was what she taught me, and lit that fire under me to get me started on that path. And that really got me rolling. She's really the one who helped me pull myself to my sense of self and who I am today. Really set up the foundations of, the building blocks for what I've become.
Wow.
Because I didn't know myself. I was dressing to just kind of, like, even just the clothes I wore to school, I just was dressing to just kind of blend in. And then she's like, dude, that's not your style. And then she took me shopping. This is pretty cool. That was like my junior year. She took me shopping, and I got like new clothes, and I went to school, and kids were calling me like gay for wearing like a cardigan or something. But like, I looked good in my clothes. So I was so happy, man. I was wearing jackets, corduroys, and I was throwing together so many new outfits. And man, it just was so good to feel confident for once and walk through those halls and know who I am, or start to know who I am, and let it build and just let it continue. But yeah, that was huge. It was a big turning point in my life.
There is something to that, the way you dress. When you feel really good about what you're dressed in, you perform better, you think clearer, you think better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just little sidetrack on that because you said that. I think like sales guys, that's why I believe like our salespeople here, if they want their shirts to be a certain fit or shirt, I will specially let them order it, and then we'll get it logoed up for them, because I'm a firm believer.
It matters.
You dress how you feel, and if you give them like clothes that they don't like, I mean, it might not be bad clothes, but it's just like, if you don't feel good in it, I think your performance level even comes down. So that confidence that you can bring with just the way you dress is a big thing.
And it sets you apart from everybody else too. I mean, you see my generation, and you see like how a lot of us wear sweatpants and sweatshirts and all this stuff. Like, we just kind of look lazier. On top of that, being a minority, I know that like you gotta like look the part if you want to do anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
good point.
Like, if I showed up to anything with just whatever, just throwing on sweats, I'm not gonna get the same respect or the same eyes that I get when I put on a suit. That's for sure. I feel like wearing a suit young is pretty awesome. And Jeff Salzburn taught me that lesson. He's like, you look the part every time, everywhere you go. Look sharp. Make sure you stand out and be memorable. Make a good first impression. But yeah, it just like just wearing a suit at my age right now will make you look like you're actually doing something, and people will question you. And I like this year even I'd go to classes. So with building legal LM, like I'd have meetings with people and lawyers and stuff, and my business partner, of course, too. We'd go like together from school, and then we'd cut it so close. We'd have to just sneak right into class right when it starts, and I still have my suit on. So the other students are looking at me like, "Oh, what's wrong with him? Like, what's he doing?"
Yeah,
and they're asking me. I'm like, "Dude, do you guys not do anything? Like, what are you guys doing?" But no, I mean, it's just interesting to throw on a suit, and like that really will change what people just think about you.
Because you're dressed right now really well too, but not overly the top, like tie and everything, but you look well put together. Like, you are a young entrepreneur, CEO of a company, dressed the way you are. And amazingly enough, you talked about legal LM, and I'm just like, I'm so impressed. How did you start legal LM as a co-founder, and how did that come to be about?
Yeah, so this all starts last summer, kind of about right when we met. Working with Scott Vondahar with Midwest Imaging Solutions, and they're just, that job put me in front of a lot of people. And one of the people I had cold called, he is the owner of a HOA company. Him and his business partner had this idea, but they didn't have the time to execute on it. And they passed it on to myself, and I had class. It's super funny. My first class, I was sitting in the back of the class, which is something I don't typically do. And then I was like, what am I doing in the back of the class? I need to go sit in the front, right? And I waited, and I was just hesitant. And somebody who I like recognized around college had sat in the front, and his name's Ethan Luco. He's my business partner today. But I saw him sit down, and I picked up all my stuff and just went up there and went and sat in the front of the class because I have bad eyes. I'm nearsighted. I can't see in the back of the class anyways. I don't even know what I was doing back there. But I went and sat next to Ethan Luco, and we started talking about real estate because my original plan was to buy a duplex this coming summer and get into real estate. And he thought that was just like impossible. He's like, oh, you need money to do that. I'm like, oh, there's ways around it. But yeah, we started talking real estate, and then it got to more entrepreneurial talks and goals and what we wanted to do in life. And seeing that our goals aligned, we put our heads together, and I shared that idea because it was just an idea sitting in the back of my head that I knew I couldn't execute by myself because I'm not like extremely skilled when it comes to tech. And by some coincidence, he's a computer science major. Yeah, and he's a senior at that too. So he's been doing this. He's had internships. He's got a lot of time under his belt. He's extremely talented. This operation does not move without him.
Is he Asian?
No, he's black too.
See, you can't label all Asians as good at tech, right?
Yeah.
You really can't.
Yeah. And Ethan gets this a lot too. Just being black too, having the name Ethan.
Oh yeah,
people like.
Suppose
I remember when I told my parents, "Yeah, my business partner's name is Ethan," and I showed them a picture of him, and my dad was like, "I was expecting some little nerdy white kid." And I was like, "What?" But no, Ethan, my partner, he's 6'4" and he's jacked.
Yeah.
I lift weights. I'm fit. He makes me look small. So you see him. He's huge. He's quite the guy. But. No, back to the skill sets though. I mean, his skill set is exactly what I needed because I'm a connector. I got the visions, I got connections, I know people, and I'm out there networking. That's all I do now. Thank you to Kendra Miles Smith for that. Metro North Chamber of Commerce. She really taught me the importance of networking, and Jeff also. He brought me to BNI as Absolute Connections. That's a great group.
Yep.
Incredible group. And then I've been to your BNI group as well too.
Yeah.
And both groups are amazing. Your group's got some absolute
powerhouses. Yeah.
In it. I mean,
I'm not in that group anymore, but Grace, my daughter, actually took my spot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I remember, Mark Chile, he's such a great guy too. And he's just a powerhouse, and just David Groff, all those guys are just great.
I need to get them on the podcast because they have great stories too. I'm good friends with them guys, too. I've not asked them yet, but yeah.
Absolutely. And just meeting all these people through networking has just been such a edge for me in starting a company. Because I'll reach out to these people and they're like, this kid is 19 starting a business. Man, I will help him. I'll give him my time. I'm not going to charge him. I'll help him. And I greatly appreciate it to everyone who has really, kind of bit a bullet to help me. And, like Austin Jones sat with us for 3 hours, I think. I saw on a school day. Me and Ethan just left school. I think we both were late to class after that, but there's 3 hours of his time in a day, and he owns a HOA company, and he understands a lot of things. But like just giving young guys that time, that means so much to us. I mean, that's stuff that I'm always going to remember, and I hope to be able to turn around and be the golden goose for them someday, and pump out some golden eggs and pay it forward, pay it back to them, because like that to me is just unreal. I mean, people sticking their necks out just to help some young guys. It's amazing.
And I think I'm just thinking off the top of my head, there's so many people that have done that for us too. Like if you heard Jeff Salzman's story,
mm-hmm.
Alan was the guy that really helped them.
Yeah, he had John Allen, Rafiq Moore.
Yeah.
And Dick Jeske, I think is the other guy. Yeah, he had a few guys who really helped him.
We need people. I mean, I've had a few people that helped me through. One of the namely ones is Mike Thompson, who is Troy Thompson's dad. He's like 80 something years old, but he helped me buy my first commercial building to be able to perpetuate that too, to help me through that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we all need somebody in life. And, I think that's huge.
And just someone to just refer to in the process of doing something new. I mean,
Yeah.
Like you said, buying a property, I'm sure when you had questions, they were answered right away, right?
Yeah. As a commercial, right? Like buying commercial property is different from buying a house.
Oh yeah,
There's
residential and commercial.
Yeah, it's two separate things.
Extremely.
They're so subjective, right?
Yeah.
Like the I feel like the residential property, it's less stringent, and they for lack of better terms, they can't put like the stipulations like they do as hard on commercial building, because like a week before closing on mine, they turned around and said, well, the bank said, and they could never do this on a residential property, right? They turned around and said, well, we'd like you to put your house, your personal house, on this guarantee too for this commercial property,
crazy.
right? Yeah, they could never do that
So they're
on
doing
a house.
Is it like a financial contingency?
Yeah,
That's so strange.
yeah. But what they said was,
residential,
they said, in order for you to buy that building at the time from Mike Thompson on University Avenue there, they had everything pre-approved, and they could do this. They actually came to me and said, well, we've been looking it over. We now want you to put your house as part of the collateral for this building if all heck breaks loose, right?
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely not. You know, if all heck breaks loose, I'm not losing my home
Yeah.
to pay for this thing.
If you put that down, you'd lose the option to pull equity out of your home, right?
Probably, yeah. That too.
So
you're right.
that's-
I didn't
it's a
even think of
trap.
that.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to pull equity out to
If
finance anything.
all heck
else.
broke loose,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And I kind of put the hammer down and said, no, if all heck breaks loose, I'm not losing my house. I'm not. And then they came back like 2-3 days later. Well, I'm trying to sweat through this thing, right? Go, all right, we'll still do it.
Yeah.
But they had the right to do that. That's the scary thing. You could never do that on a residential home buying. At least I don't think you could. Like, all of a sudden the bank comes back and says, yeah, we decided you need to put your boat and something else to make sure that we can collect money on your house.
I think they can do like inspecting contingencies, but it might be able to do financing contingencies, but it'd have to be in a different format and package.
Yeah.
But there is rare cases.
Oh, yeah. They would
I feel
never
like
do that.
Wholesalers are the people who do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They run contingencies whenever they're coming up on liability to purchase.
On homes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I did that through, the funny thing was, though, if the commercial property goes well, and I had renters in there, so I was able to lease some of this commercial property. I still remember the hoops that they put me through. I remember at closing, I told Mike and his partner, I said, I'm never going through this again. There's no way. This is the only time I'm ever buying a commercial building for my business, right? And I need a warehouse eventually. But I still remember Mike turning to me and says, no, that's not what you're going to be saying in 6 months. You're going to be collecting that rent check, and you're going to say, you know, I do it again. I love this. Exactly.
My favorite time of the month.
And sure enough, 6 months later, I'm scouring through the paper going, man, can I buy another building somewhere? How can I figure this to
Isn't
get
it
that
beautiful how it turns?
Exactly, to get mailbox money. But
Man, there's nothing better than cash flow.
yeah, and it was the best advice I ever got from Mike Thompson. And that was a funny story too, because he just basically said, hey, you know, it came about for me to buy it when I was renting from him, and he comes in to get his check, and I said, you make more money than God, Mike. And he goes, you don't like it? Why don't you buy the building from me? And I go, I can? And he goes, yeah. And it's a trust, and it's that thing that you built up, right?
Yep.
And here's the deal with that. He had more faith in me than I had in myself, because he carried me for $100,000 on that property as like a carryback. And so he would sit in the third position behind the bank, and I only had to come up with like $60,000 to buy the building, right?
And that,
like,
folks, that's it right there. That's the key. That's syndication at its finest. You're showing a clear example of why you don't need to have a ton of money to get into stuff like this. I mean, people will help you, and I think him knowing you, like, reinforced his like risk factor. I mean, I'd bet on you any day of the week, Wymond.
Man, I appreciate that. Sometimes I have that confidence in myself. Some days I think as business owners, we do curl up in the fetal position and start sucking our thumb. The key to it is just getting out of that fetal position.
Hey, that's all part of being in this style of economy. There's business cycles, and there's ups and downs, there's swings, and those swings will have you in the fetal position. I mean, but hey, just know it'll get better eventually if you keep swinging.
That's exactly it. Tell me a little more about Legal LM. How did you end up with that name?
Yeah.
And what was it that was exciting about it to you?
All right, so the name, Ethan Luco, Marcyves Michel, LM. That's how we threw the LM back there. And then the legal portion, because we are creating documents and also connecting people with the lawyers and expediting that connection process. And that in itself is such a such high value, because how long it can take sometimes to get in contact with good real estate attorneys. It's tough. So being able to get the connection and expedite the transaction, whether it's on the front end, back end, or even just having the proper documentation to help you through management situations, like you said, it's extremely situational with residential and also commercial. Probably more situational with commercial, but it's extremely situational with residential as well, especially for investors versus someone being like a first-time buyer or a home buyer, just one home. Right. Investors they need the proper legal processes. Otherwise, you can lose everything so fast. It is so important to have that. So if you're building your legacy or your estate and all that, you need to do it properly. You got to have the proper documentation and to make things just clear and concise. So that's exactly what we're doing for people. And we love what we do because it's so different from all the big companies, because we're right here in Minnesota with you. You can come shake my hand. That's the difference. That's I love being client facing. I mean, or I wouldn't necessarily say client facing as far as, because it's an online online platform, but just being here with you guys and seeing the results that it's providing, and I think once you start getting the thank yous, hey, you really helped me figure out how to pass this property down to my next generation and properly, and so I don't have to worry about it going, and feeling sound in every process of ownership, because acquisition's one thing, management's another thing, exiting or passing on, there's so many separate sectors. So
there really is.
Feeling confident the whole way through is so key.
Yeah, and there's competition in your space, and and you said that what sets you apart from that is your local, your Minnesota here, and those are the people that you're attracting. Is there anything else that might set that apart? The ease of using your product, or I guess probably the ability to reach out to somebody a lot quicker, I assume?
Absolutely. So Legal LM is going to be jurisdiction specific. So being in the area, we understand what kind of market the Minnesota market is, and the things that can happen quickly that you might need legal protection. Situations that that can happen so fast that you might need legal protection and kind of modified documents for. I think that's the biggest key in separation, because none of the other, I don't know for sure where they're based out of, but I'd say jurisdiction focus is the biggest separator in what we do.
Yeah, and I sense that somewhat even in my industry, right? Do you want that big corporation from California to be doing a furnace install because they don't know exactly all the codes? Are they efficient enough? And even if they are efficient enough, will they actually pass all the codes and regulations in a sense, right? So that's what's I think that's what sets you guys apart. That's absolutely pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, being 19 doing stuff like this, it doesn't feel real. It's unreal. Just I would have never. I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur and start a company and be a CEO, be an owner.
Yeah.
But 19,
I know. I'm still amazed. But you have that young mind and sharp. I mean, I'm very impressed with our conversation.
And I think Ethan's he might be 21, 22 years old.
Okay.
So he's also very young as well. So it's so amazing to navigate this with a partner and us being close in age. And just really experiencing it. I love the looks of people's faces, like when we call them to meet them and then they see us, or they ask, like, how old are you guys?
At least.
We were trying to set up a meeting with SJJ. I don't know if you're familiar, but that's the second biggest law firm in the state.
Okay.
And it's like, how old are you guys? Oh, I'm 19. They're like, oh, what?
At least,
I love it, man. It's my favorite question.
At least you guys, and I probably have some stereotypic mindsets, but at least you didn't show up like, maybe you guys are too young for this, but like Kid and Play where you have that whole hair up in the flat top that's like 2 feet above your head.
No, I absolutely like looking the part, like Jeff Salzburn, back to him. I mean, he stressed that for so long. Like if I wasn't wearing, like, if I wore my suit wrong, he'd always get on me about my collar stays, like the little plastics in them. Man, he is.
Right.
But and Todd Rooker as well. Jeff really introduced me to Todd Rooker. But those two guys are so intentional with everything that they do.
Yeah.
And man, if you model that intentionality, you're going places.
Yeah.
They're meticulous and precise, and like they are truly masters of their whatever each class that they do.
Yeah, they are. Todd Rooker's a really good guy.
Incredible.
I don't know him at a real super high level. I've had a conversation or two with him, but
that's all it takes.
You can tell
that's all it takes with Rooker. Yeah. I spent 2 hours with Todd. And that's all it took for, like, I don't think I've ever had such a pivotal moment in my life, like with maturity and mental growth and how I measure myself and how I view like success.
Yeah.
Because Todd teaches you assets minus liabilities is the true key to like that's the real measuring stick. Because my generation's all about vanity and like getting the flashy car, moving to the flashy house, getting the big house, like just buying liabilities, and that's not wealth building. That's not wealth management. That's not how you do it. So Todd Rooker's teachings of true measuring, like how you really should measure yourself. Assets minus liabilities, and the documentations that he sent along with me to help me navigate that. Like he sent me a whole personal finances Excel thing that he made, and it's got everything. I mean, it's got Christmas on there. Yeah. He this dude knows what he's gonna spend a year before he spends it. He's so incredible.
Wow, that was just another $1 million nugget right there if you're listening to the show. With that, let's go to a break, and then we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Anoka Meals on Wheels, a nonprofit organization that I proudly support, delivers more than just nutritious meals to seniors in our community. They deliver connection, care, and peace of mind. Their volunteers don't just drop off food. They check in, share a smile, and ensure our neighbors know they're not forgotten. I know because I am one of those volunteer drivers. Help us keep serving those who need it most. Visit mowanoka.org to volunteer, donate, or learn more about Anoka Meals on Wheels. Nourishing bodies and spirits, one meal at a time. Tired of lugging heavy bags of water softener salt from the store? Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric now delivers premium water softener salt right to your home in returnable, reusable 20-pound containers to go green and light it up to save you from injury. Serving the north suburbs, we're your neighbors who know how hard our water is. No more running out of salt and dealing with spotty dishes and stiff laundry. Quality salt, reliable delivery, local service you can trust. Because at Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, we don't just keep your home comfortable, we keep your water soft and your life easy. Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, now with water softener salt delivery. Call today or visit us online. And we are back with Marcyves Michel. And have we been talking some really good stuff here? Yeah, you're just an amazing young man, Keeves. And hey, if you're really enjoying this show, we'd really appreciate it if you could take a second to hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach so many more listeners. And if you're feeling extra generous, leaving us a rating or a review would mean the world to us. It only takes a minute, but it makes a huge difference in helping other people discover our shows and helps other people in our local community tell their story. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Facebook Twin City Tales podcast Facebook page for behind the scenes content, episodes, and updates and more. So we got Keeves back here, and this is the portion where we show some pictures. And Keeves actually provides some pictures for us. Usually we have surprise pictures, but I am so moved by some of these pictures that let's just get right into it. The orphanage pictures, here you are. Like, this must be in Haiti.
Yeah, so that is me in the orphanage at like 3 or 4 years old. I'm not exactly sure how old I am, probably around 4. But you can truly see the environment, and you can see like the feelings associated with the look on my face. Like you don't normally see me frown. You know?
And it's in front of this gated door. Was that like a house, your house that you were in, or
no,
that you were living in at that time?
I believe that's just one of the hallways.
Okay.
But I think the distress and the sadness and look of just discomfort and feelings of dysfunctionality on my face are the big picture here. And you can see me out in the sun in the next picture, and it's just not
sitting there and just
not looking happy at all.
No, a lot of stress, it seems like. And there you are again with somebody. Is that a relative or is that
that's another kid from the orphanage? And you can once again see the look on my face. Everyone who knows me today knows that I'm always smiling. You don't see me frowning or moping around. Like, that's just not my character.
Yeah, and that's another one where they must be getting you prepared.
Preparing me. And these pictures were sent to my parents to kind of like to show them the kid that they were adopting. And I don't know if I was coughing or something.
Sticking out your tongue like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. But I mean, just you can see the sadness on the kids around me's face too. I mean, it's a hard situation to be in.
Yeah, it just was not easy. I'm just looking at these pictures, and you can tell just a lot of depression. And for being 3, 4, 5 years old, that's some trauma that you're going through there.
Mm.
But a little more happier times. Did you describe this picture? These must be relatives when you got here.
Absolutely, yeah. I love this picture because it shows the total adoption that I experienced. I know adoptions aren't always smooth processes for people, but for me, it was such a amazing and meaningful process. I couldn't be a part of a better family. I feel like I was truly fully adopted by everybody in my family, immediate family, cousins. I can't express the love that I was shown.
Look at the smile there too, compared to the orphanage pictures you had. It's
absolutely,
incredible.
yeah. I feel like as soon as I reached a situation with good construct and good bones and fully functional, man, you see the character you see today come out in that little child.
I love that. It's amazing. And then your family too. That's a picture of your family.
Yeah, that's my immediate family. That's my mom, dad, and 2 sisters, Jenna and Jamie. They're amazing siblings. When we were little, Jamie wasn't the best, but I'm kidding. Yeah, she's awesome. I'm actually about to be an uncle in the next 2 to 3 weeks, probably.
Congratulations!
Thank you, kid. I'm so excited for Jamie and my mom. She's retiring. She's gonna be a full-time nanny, I think. And Jenna, she's super excited as well. But such an amazing family, and just what adoption should look like. I know there's been like ups and downs, and I question reasons like or there's certain things I question, like I wish my parents would have talked to me more about, like they adopted a black child and they didn't really look too much in what it would take to raise a black child in a predominantly white area. But I know that everything they did do was out of the kindness and love and goodness of their heart. And I can't express like enough gratitude for what they've done for me. I mean, my life is completely turned around.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from rags to a good flourishing life with plenty of opportunities, and these opportunities present themselves to me every day, and I just have to continue to take them.
Man, you are making the most of it. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And with your drive and you get mentored by different people, you're going to make a great uncle. Is it going to be a boy or a girl? Do you know?
So that's the surprise.
That's a surprise.
I think it's going to be a little boy, but yeah, we're waiting on that. But back to the family. Another thing is the best support system after I proved myself, like after I showed them, hey, this college thing, because my dad was not for college before.
Okay.
He's like, that's so expensive, it's a waste of money, just go to work, learn how to weld. He's old school.
My dad in the early 80s told me, you should go to vocational school and learn how to fix TVs. That's going to be a good one for you.
Yeah, he's like, learn how to fix something. That's just going to get you somewhere. And I was like, man, no. I was like, I was chasing uncapped growth. And he didn't know what that meant at the time, but he learned through watching me chase it. And he's experiencing it now too. He owns Burnett Transfer. It's a transfer station in Burnett County, Wisconsin, or it's in Siren, Wisconsin. So I think it's in Burnett. But yeah, it's a great business and it's been a great expansion. And I'm so proud of the leeway how much ground he's moved. He's grown so much, and my uncle and him run that together. So yeah, I'm also like, he's watching me. He's always telling me how impressed he is at what I do, and I'm like, man, I'm impressed at what you do.
That's
awesome.
Incredible. That's awesome. And then going back to you when you're a little kid, I was moved by this one because I am actually seeing you right now. You actually have an invisible cape on right now because you are like amazing. Everything you've told me at the age of 19, what you're doing. When you were taking that picture, do you remember that day, or do you remember what were you thinking there?
Man, I'm Black Superman. That's it right there. I say it to this day. I'm built out of vibranium, so I just feel indestructible, and I feel like I can conquer the world.
I love that picture. That's just what I picture you at. So that's absolutely fantastic. And one of your passions is fishing. Tell us a little more about that. And you're a Rapala sponsor too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So Wisconsin, I mean, I'll say Grantsburg. It wasn't all bad for me. One of the major things I want to thank my dad for too. Like he did recognize that like I'm kind of sputtering. There's not much to do for me. I was just like on video games a lot, and my birthday rolls around, and I wake up and walk upstairs, look out in the yard, and bass boat, 21-foot bass boat with a 200-horse Johnson on the back, and I was like, oh, wow, this can't be real. No 15-year-old needs a 200-horsepower motor on the back of their boat. I mean, I'm cruising the lakes at 60 miles an hour, 55, 60 miles an hour. It's crazy. But I got pretty good at fishing and started fishing tournaments, got sponsored by Rapala, and it was the best way to pass time for me throughout high school, and that was my therapy. That was how I learned who I was.
Nice.
I mean, countless hours on the water by myself. There was days where my dad, before I could drive, of course, so he worked at Johnson Lumber, which is out by Jeff Salzburn's, by Mud Hen Lake. And so he'd drop me at the lake, and I'd be out there for 14 hours a day. And it was just crazy. Early morning to sunset, and I'd pack a little lunch and fish the whole day. And I'd bump into Jeff out on the dock, and I'd take him and Levi fishing. And if you're impressed by me as a young person, just wait till you see what Levi Salzburn does when he's my age. If you think I'm something, he's gonna do it by like 10 times, maybe 20 times. He might do it 100 times better than I'm doing it. That kid is something else. He's so smart. So I'd take Jeff and Levi fishing, and just incredible. And Jeff would sit out there and fall asleep in the boat and stuff. Jeff's not fishing.
I can see that. I can see
he's
that.
sitting there texting. Yeah. No,
He's a doer. He likes to like get and putts with his hands and fix something.
Yeah.
That's his jam.
We used to have fish fries out at the cabin too.
Yeah.
I'd catch crappies and stuff, and we'd flay them up, and Josie and the family would help me set up, and I'd make fish out there. But I also want to talk about the Salzburn family too. That's like my second family up there too. I remember a couple of years ago. Might have been, man, it's already a couple of years ago. I'm getting old. 19.
You're saying you're getting old.
I'm mentally old. But no, I'd be just at the cabin. This was right before college, actually. I was at the cabin, and I had a moment where I was like, wow, I really feel like I'm just a part of the family at this point. I was just sitting out there, and I'd spend the night because he's got, extra room for guests and everything. And he had like his brother-in-law or it might have been Josie's brother-in-law, I can't remember. But Steve and his family were out there, and his extended family was all out there, and I'm sitting at the table with the Salzburns and their extended family, and I'm at the end of the table. I'm like, I'm not even like blood related to these people, but I just feel like I am. I'm playing cards with them, and they do such a great job of just making you feel at home, and it's just an amazing family, incredible family.
That's awesome. Jeff has always been really good to me, and we go back a little bit, and we had friends that before we met that was really close to me when I was like 16, 17 years old. So, this world is so weirdly connected, I guess is the best way to say it. But
absolutely.
We are all connected in certain ways.
Yeah.
With whatever you believe in, that higher power, I truly believe that we're connected in different ways. And
I feel like all of us are. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Great pictures, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Is there anything that we might have missed that you might want us to know more about, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about like current day social life with college and everything. College has been the best decision I've ever made in my life, and I know it's not like particularly for everybody, but I think it's helped me so much in realizing, like, finding my place in this world and understanding it, and like feeling like I fit properly. Because, like you said, like being pre-labeled and like not being judged by your capabilities or your potential, that's hard. That's hard to look out into a world and be like, you know what, I belong right here.
Yeah.
And it took just a lot of time, and then college, the first year, really helped me build that confidence, and I met some amazing people, like my friends. Like, I wouldn't be like who I am without my friends right now. Like, I like to say that Jalen makes up a big portion of me. Jalen Brown, he's a computer science major, so anybody out there who is looking for a sharp computer science guy, he'd be your guy. But that dude, if I was to describe him in one word, I'd say integrity. He's the physical embodiment of integrity.
Wow. Yeah.
He's just doesn't mess up, man. He's incredible. And he's really just taught me to look at myself from a different lens and respect and value myself fully in all parts of myself. Because, like it takes the right people to really help you as a minority raised by like a different race. You have to really find peace in accepting your race, And my first swing at that was changing my name back to Marcyves when I turned 18. But college and being exposed to other Black students and just Black people has been incredible. Like Jalen and his family have done just an incredible job of, reminding me, like, hey, you are also Black. Like you are. You gotta just feel the culture. Like I had my first Thanksgiving like away from my family with them, and it was just such an incredible experience. Incredible family there too, and just incredible conversations.
Wow. And I'm still trying to learn that. I think I didn't embrace actually being Chinese or Asian until maybe 15 years ago. Like when I started going to Moo Theater, which is an Asian performing arts theater, that's when I really started embracing and say, hey, how do I give back to my community and how do I work through that? It's not as easy as it looks. Like, you don't want to ever like downplay or disconnect from your culture or where you came from, right? And I did that for the longest time. So just having that wisdom that you have right now, amazing. You are an amazing man. I'm telling you. The one thing that I always ask, and it just seems so weird because I feel like you're still young, but you've had some experience. The one question I always ask on this show is like, if you can go back and see run into this young Superman in a cape, and you can go, Keeves, let me tell you something. Yeah. This is something that you need to know later on in life. What would you tell young Keeves?
Don't get in trouble at school as much. But I don't think that would have changed. I could have told myself that 10 times. I would have still gotten in trouble.
Exactly, right?
In 5th grade, I ran out of class. I ran away from school. Like I ran off campus.
You were a runner.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really change a kid like that, you know. And I like to joke about this, but I had someone tell me recently that I have ADHD because I always got tested for it as a kid, but you can't take a hyperactive kid like that and box him in and tell him to not get in trouble. But yeah, and I also would have told myself to spend less time on like video games. I think if I spent more time on YouTube learning things, I think I'd be pretty far ahead right now.
Man, how far would you be ahead? Because my gosh, you are so ahead right now of anything else. I am just so impressed at what you've done and how you see the world and how you know yourself. You are like 5 steps way ahead of most everybody else. 10 steps. It's incredible. So I'm very impressed.
I love that you say that because just probably a week ago, I was just like down. I mean, I wasn't really down, but I was like thinking, man, I wish I could be doing more. I felt stagnant in my process, in my search, and I'm like, man, I wish I could be doing more, but I don't always take into consideration that like it's okay to be 19.
Yeah.
But I think last year, like my freshman roommate Braden Christensen, he really helped me like realize that hey, it's okay to let loose sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm so goal focused. I'm talking about investments all the time. I'm talking about like it's. I remember. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about being at the bar at 19, but it's college. But I'm at the bar with him, and him and I are sitting in a booth, and we're looking at each other, and we're looking around at all the people there, and we're like, there's not a productive thought going through anybody's head. Him and I are sitting there talking about the S&P 500 and index funds. We're talking about VU and QQQ, and it's just unreal. We're talking about index funds at a bar, and we're like, why are we even here?
Yeah.
But and it's the reminder that hey, it's okay to be 19 though. Like enjoy it still. Like have fun.
There is a balance in that because what Salzman said as part of his telling himself if he could go back in time. He said, stop chasing the women. Just, live your life.
That's where Salzman and I are a little bit different. I don't have to chase. My girlfriend's going to love that.
This is such a great podcast. I'm really excited. And but before you leave, there's a couple more things I have for you.
Absolutely.
Who's someone you would love to see or hear on this podcast, and why?
Oh man, okay, yeah. So this is an amazing question, and I got someone right away for you. I believe Todd Rooker would be an incredible person to have on this podcast, and the reason for that being that I spent 2 hours with Todd Rooker, and it literally changed my life. Like, and we can have a moment of silence after that one. Like, Todd Rooker is truly so influential, and the way he speaks is impactful. And I think that, if there is a way to share what he has to say with more people, man, I'd love that for everybody.
I agree with you 100%. I've had a couple conversations with Todd. Amazing, amazing guy. And I know, I've heard a little bit about his story. He didn't come from an easy background either, so he's had some challenges.
I mean, if you think my story's hard, you gotta hear Chad Rooker's story. I mean, he's overcome so much adversity. I mean, being just swamped in some hard situations and having to work, just work like a dog. I mean, just, like that does something to you.
All right.
And I just don't. I never thought that I could spend just 2 hours with someone and it changed me that much. That's the beauty of it. And I think if other people can conceptualize what he's saying and understand it, and like, it will truly change your outlook on life, and you will start to see results. I mean, you start to gain. You start to gain ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear that, Todd Rooker? You're next.
Next.
That's what I'm hearing. You're getting called out, young man.
No, I've seen what he's done recently with my freshman roommate, once again, Braden Christensen. He was kind of spiraling, but he's figuring it out. Like, I mean, those 2 hours with Todd changed him. And Jeff also, too. Like, I connected with Jeff, and then he got connected with Karen Lamb. She's in that Absolute Connections. Yeah. She's incredible, too.
That's a big group.
Yeah, Karen and James Lamb are incredible. And they've done so much for Braden. I think he's in Florida with them right now, actually. Like, it just it's so cool. But I've watched a full 180 in my former roommate. And I mean, he thought that school was everything. This might be a bad one to say. School's not everything, folks. But he thought school was everything right away. And I mean, he made that like 180, and he's like, man, a lot of this doesn't matter. And that's why I think I separate myself from a lot of young people. Make sure you have a life outside of school. Make sure you have goals, aspirations while you're in school, but that's happening off campus. Yeah. I feel like it really gives you a new perspective of the world around you and the businesses around you, and then you kind of lose that Hollywood like mental thing that you thought that businesses were.
Right.
Because once you look inside of a business and you see how it's actually operating and running, not everything's a Fortune 500.
No, and it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of nights of hard work, but Absolutely. It's well worth it. You're
so worth it.
At least that's how I feel.
And I think it's more attainable than a lot of young people feel. Like creating something.
Yeah, it is more attainable, but you have to push for it.
You really do.
And you have to be able to, and you know this in football, you have to get knocked down a few times, and you have to be willing to get back up. Like, sometimes I look at it as too stupid to fail, right? You get punched in the face. I hurt, but let's try it again, right?
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I feel like that's what business really is about.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, you are going to get knocked down, and there's going to be disappointments. Like, not hitting goals is hard. Yeah, it really is. It's disappointing, but that's a part of it, man. It feels so much better once you reset that goal and you do hit it. That's what I think. As long as you keep swinging.
That is so awesome that you've already recognized that. And before we leave, I've got a few things for you.
Ooh, what do we got going on?
Some memento. Well, we gave these out as fortune cookies, so you get a little box of fortune cookies because that's kind of my heritage, so I embrace it. We also have a little trophy for you.
Oh, you guys, you custom made it too. Wow.
Exactly. I thank you for being on the show.
This is incredible. I wish I'd have brought gifts now.
And of course, you can't leave here without something from Twin Sea Heating and Air and Electric.
Amazing.
So keeping you warm.
Awesome. I needed a beanie.
And here's kind of the coup de grace. I was trying to figure out their college kid, what does college kids love and what could they always use? And I think Chipotle gift card for like $25. I know it's not a lot because you're going to look back and go, that $25 wasn't too much back then because you're going to be like so successful that $25 is like, I dropped that looking for parking change is what you'd be saying in a few years.
No, I really appreciate this one. I mean, this is incredible.
No, you're an incredible young man, and I really appreciate you coming on the show. I'm looking forward to hoping to get you back on in some way or another and seeing what you what you're doing in 5 years from now. I think you're amazing, Marcyves. So, anyways, so with that being said, Marcyves, I can't thank you enough for you being on the show, on Twin Sea Tales podcast. If you want to learn more about Marcyves, Michael, you can go to LinkedIn or Facebook and connect with him on there. He is amazing. I'm going to spell out his name for you. It's spelled M-A-R, C as in Charlie, Y as in yellow, V as in Victor, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, and his last name is Michael. M as in Mary, I as in Indigo, C as in Charlie, H as in Henry, E as in Edward, L as in Larry, no A in there. So it's Marcyves Michel on LinkedIn or Facebook. You connect them there, or visit us at Twin Sea Tales Facebook page, and we will post it on there. And as we roll out of here, I want to once again thank Chris Hockey for the use of his song "Thanks," with no pun intended, because I truly am grateful for Chris Hockey and his music. And this podcast is powered by Twin Sea Heating and Electric. And until the next show, just remember you can't go wrong with Wymond Wong on your favorite podcast, Twin Sea Tales.
This song goes out to my family.